Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. We are going to experiment today. This is going to be a hit or a big flop. I have my 1796 cookbook and we're going to make rusk, R-U-S-K. Now these are the instructions. Rub in half a pound of sugar, half a pound of butter, 4 cups of flour, add pint milk, emptins. When risen well, bake in pans 10 minutes fast. Okay, that's it. Now, first off, they did have bread pans, but they were 1 pound loaves, so we're going to be using 1 pound loaves. They don't say grease the pans, but I know bread sticks to those pans, so I'm going to be greasing mine. Now, another thing is, emptins is the byproduct of yeast making. Haha, so I know it's a bread. It looks like it's going to be a sweet bread, I think. And so I'm going to use my sponge culture, not my liquid, because of the way it's going. I'm thinking I really want to use my liquid. I might use my liquid. I haven't really decided. If I wasn't putting it in a pan, I would use my sponge culture. But because I'm putting it in pans, I think my liquid might be better. So we're making a bread. But see, if you were close to a brewery at that time, you could sit there and go for the byproduct, and it's the foam they skim off, which is their yeast, and you could go just pick it up. Now, the people who made their own brewery had it on hand all the time. Well, number one, I don't live next to a brewery. Number two, I don't make my beer. So I'm going to have to do it a little different. This is the only place where I'm going to be doing it different. Now, remember that we didn't get measuring cups for flours and stuff, what we call dry cup measurers, until 18-something by Fanny. And she was the one who changed us from the pounds and stuff. So we're going to have to use a scale. In Europe, they still use scales, so this is why they use that. So we're going to be doing that. Now, I don't know how they want this put together, but I know how to make bread, so I'm going to go in that direction. Since I know how to make bread, I think I should be able to make this work. All right, now I took butter out yesterday, and it's soft, but first I want to grease my pans because she doesn't even talk about rising it. She just says, she just says when risen well. So it's evident it's not going to take 2 or 3 rises. It's going directly into the pans, and then it's going to be cooked. At least that's what I think. If I'm wrong, you will see the end results of a mess. So let me get these greased first. And let me put my ladder up because I climb high. Another thing is we don't know what kind of flour they used. Remember that. All-purpose flour was done by Fanny as well, and 18-something. I don't have it on hand right now, so I'm just generalizing in that. And this recipe goes back to 1796, so we're not even sure of what kind of flour they use. I'll probably just use all-purpose, assuming they just have mixed flours. It could have been made with whole grain. It could have been made with bread flour or just a soft wheat. I just don't know. And but I did check up when all-purpose flour was created. It was done in 18-something, and the ratio for to make your all-purpose flour is to 4 cups of bread flour. You add and blend thoroughly 1 cup of cake flour, and that is the actual ingredients to make bread all-purpose flour. So we're going to be winging some of this because you just don't know. But like I told you, my mother had a cookbook, this really, really thick green one, It was a dark green, worn pages like crazy. They gave ingredients and they were measured out by pounds and stuff like that. And it told you how to, from making soaps to making candles, to just everything was in that book that came out of the kitchen. It was just mind-boggling, even how to do meats, smoke them, this and that. I was hoping that I would get that cookbook, but I never did. So it's lost. So I know I have. I'll get my pans out. This doesn't have any salt in it. Now the modern version of this, they say it's a salt, it's a dry bread. But she's putting in a lot of butter. So I don't think this is going to be as dry. I could be wrong, but I just don't think it's going to be because of what's being put in it. So if any of you have a husband who makes his own beer, you're going to need a pint of Emptins, okay? I don't have it, so let's see. They want a ½ pound of sugar. And where did I put my butter? Here it is. I wanted to make sure my butter was really soft yesterday. I know this seems to be going a little backwards if you ask me, but they want to rub in ½ pound of sugar and ½ pound of butter. The butter was just 2 sticks, but let's see how much. Let's use the 4th cup measurer and we'll see how much it is. Now they want a ½ pound of sugar. All right, a pound of sugar is just a little bit under a cup. Okay. To 4 pounds of flour. Okay, now we're going to put in 4 pounds of flour. See, when you don't know what they're doing, you just don't know. That's 2 cups. This is going to be a lot of flour. Okay. I'm not even going to count. It's just going to be a lot of flour, okay? Okay, I'll be right back. I have to go get some more flour. This is a lot of flour. Okay. This is 1½ cups of flour. As you can see, this is a lot. To 4 pounds of flour. Oh, God. This might make 4 or 5 loaves. I mean, I really just don't know. You notice I'm just going to pour it. It's just that much. Okay. I got 3 cups here. want me to rub all of this together. I'll get the other pound, just give me a minute. This might make 4 loaves it really just might. So I guess they want you to work the butter and the sugar like you would doing biscuits. So they use their hands at that time, and that's why I'm using my hands. Oh, this is a lot. Because they didn't have the equipment that we have today. Now I might just mix all of this with 3 pounds here and then use a pound to knead it in and work it well. Now they don't add any salt to this. Like I said, salt was really prized. Now I'm not adding any wheat germ or anything to this because we're just experimenting. I could say this is going to be a very bad flop if it doesn't work out. But you can see the butter is working into it. That's why they say rub it. So it's going to look like biscuits as you do it. But we did add a cup of sugar to this. That was 1 pound. I mean, half a pound. Just under a cup. I'm actually this is going to be a long video as I do. This might be 2 parts. I don't know yet. It just depends. Now, I don't know if they want this risen twice. I know bread usually rises twice, all right? So I might give it 2 rises, because she doesn't say. She just says when risen well. So we might let this rise, punch down, and rise again. Because some recipes she does mention overnight, but she's not mentioning it here. So, and because we are using yeast I made, because I don't get Imtins, I'm sure it might rise faster. We'll just see how it acts. But she does state that it must be risen very well. Okay, we're going to put them well in the middle of this. We're going to start pouring the liquid stuff into it. Keep on thinking I should use the liquid measure, my liquid culture. I can't shake the feeling I'm going to have to pull that out. Use that one instead. Okay. So they want 2 cups of that and a pint of milk. Well, a pint is actually 2 cups. So she's saying she wants a pint of the Imtins, which is the byproduct of beer making, which I don't have, so I'm going to have to use something else in place of it. Okay, so I'm going to use my liquid culture and get 2 cups, because this is where they get yeast from. I'm really going to use a lot of this. We're going to have any left. Okay. Yeah, I got a little left. Thank God. We're pouring this in. Because it does have like an alcohol smell to it. Put this one in that one. And a pint of milk. Is there anything else that's going to go in this? Nope, this is it. See what I mean? They want you to mix this with your hand again. This is the biggest bowl I've got. I think they are adding the sugar for the yeast. I'm going to call it yeast, but they say the emptins to activate to get a lift on this. It might take a while. Let me get this off. I want to move stuff so I can get it out and knead this. It's got to be worked. It looks like it might be more than 2 loaves, too. Because remember, they made a lot of bread at one time, because they had large families. These are all the ingredients to make this. At least I got all the ingredients together. So we are making a dry bread from 1796. Okay, I don't think I need these right now. I don't know how she could do that and add another pound of flour into this. Ugh. This is going to be a mess. Now I am going to be working all of this in, and I don't think you need to see me do this. I'm going to be at it for a while, so I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to take a break and talk. I only have this much more to knead into this. I am going to put this in a greased bowl, and I am going to let it sit. I'm going to check it in 12 hours. So there's going to be parts in this as we go to make this to see how they did it in those days. I've almost got 3 pounds of flour worked into this, and the butter is melting as I work it with my hands. So I'm going to continue kneading, and I wish they had more instructions in those days. Okay. Okay, I've worked in 3 pounds of flour, working in the last bit. And when you knead it, I should say punch the mother, you're going to notice that you feel some of the grit of the flour that hasn't quite worked in. Keep working it until you get that smoothness. You'll feel it in your hands. Oh, God. Now I'm holding back on 1 pound because of this rises and stuff. I'm going to need more flour to knead it out and shape it when we go to put it in the bread pans, which might be tomorrow. I'm going to give it a 12-hour rise, and if it's risen, I'm thinking about just taking it out, kneading it, punching it, and putting it back up for another rise, and then tomorrow, you know, and put it in the bread pans. That's why they want it well risen. I think they're looking at 2 12-hour rises. You punch it down, you knead it, you put it back in a greased bowl, and let it rise another 12 hours, and then in the morning, you'll be shaping them up. So you'll probably see me this evening, and then tomorrow morning. Now see, I'm finally getting the last of it in. I can feel a little gritty here. You'll feel it, believe you me. And you'll also be able to see that the flour hasn't worked in. You want to make sure this flour is worked in because the yeast is going to eat it. I think that's what she means. I'm getting very strong impressions. That's what she wants. That's why they make the bread and they let it set for such a long time. So this evening, I will be speaking with you again on this. I am going to wash that bowl out. God. I can say this bread almost beat me this time. I know so much flour makes 1 loaf. So I'll see how this is, and we'll decide if it's going to be 2 or 3 loaves. I've already I've got a set for 1 pound loaves, so if it goes above that, I'll be fine. I can cover myself. I'm just assuming this is going to be 2 loaves right now. But the way it keeps growing and what it does, we'll have a better idea where we go. So you're winging it with me. If you're watching the video, you'll probably have to watch all of them to know exactly how to make this bread. From 1796. Oh, Jesus. I just want to make sure this bowl is hot and try not to burn myself in the process. I gotta get this off my hand. So hold back when they say 4 pounds of flour. We're just going to use 3 right now and see if we need that extra flour for later. They might have buttered their bowl, but I'm going to use oil. I don't think it matters, but I'm sure that they would use butter or lard to grease their bowls at that time. Might have to get my other bowl out because this rice is too hot. Okay, I am going to go set this for a lovely 12-hour rise, and I will see you in 12 hours and we'll see what it looks like.